Welcome to Expert Profiles Atlanta, where Atlanta's influencers and innovators share strategies for overcoming obstacles and achieving success in business and life. Here's your host, best-selling author and Atlanta influencer, Neil Howe.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is your host, Neil Howe, and today my guest is Bobby Kircher. He is the founder of Papaya Internet, and he helps businesses and individuals find opportunities to grow their business online. He started his work in web design and development 20 years ago, and he started SEO in 2002, which is a long time ago for SEO, and search engine marketing in 2004. He started this company Papaya Internet in 2004, and he's an active member of the Atlanta WordPress community and LGBT business community. And you can catch him speaking about SEO and networking events around the city. I'm very excited to welcome Bobby Kircher to the show.
Thanks for having me, Neil.
Well, Bobby, tell us a little bit about yourself. You have been in the SEO business for quite a long time. You've seen a bunch of different changes and all these big Google algorithm changes. You should be used to what that does to businesses by now. So give us a little bit more about yourself and your background and how Papaya came about.
Sure. I started my career in web development in 1998 while I was interning at Florida. Well, I was attending Florida State, and I interned for an organization that was working with the state of Florida. And I was part of a team where we built a permitting website to provide information on getting permits for the Department of Environmental Protection for the state of Florida. And it's really where I got my feet wet on the web, and my duties were to work with the development team and design, make what they were developing into something user-friendly. And, that's where I got hooked. It was in 1998. The web was still in its infancy. Google had just started. And there were other search engines that people were using before Google. So it was then that I got really excited about the web, and I took a job in Atlanta after graduating at Florida State, and started working for the long distance company MCI WorldCom. And there I did tech support and some web development there, and mostly for internal websites. So I started just picking up side jobs while I was working at MCI, and businesses were like asking me, so how do I get found in the search engine? So I would build these websites and then optimize them for keywords, and then I would learn about SEO, and it was something that I didn't get to do in my 9-to-5 job, because we were building websites that were just basically seen by people within the company. So it was then that I started to build my own websites, which were like affiliate marketing websites, basically microsites focused on specific products that would link to Amazon or other affiliate programs, and then I would get a commission for any of that traffic. I got my start in SEO as an affiliate marketer and as a person who was building websites for small businesses. If you recall, way back when MCI WorldCom went through one of the largest bankruptcies in American history, and was acquired by Verizon, and I was not. I was asked to. I was thanked for my work, and I was no longer. I was no longer employed with MCR WorldCom. So it was then that I decided to just go out on my own, and I had an opportunity to work with an e-commerce retailer based in Marietta. Actually, they were based in Atlanta and eventually moved to Marietta. But so my job with them, they were like my first big client, and I was basically charged with their their SEO, their Google AdWords and advertising, and also optimizing their Amazon store. So they were like one of the first stores to list products on Amazon in their marketplace, and this is back in 2004. And so the owner of the company at the time ended up selling the company because of the work that my company did to help boost sales, and the owner, the new owner of the company, actually brought me in to help along with their business. So that's where I really got my my feet wet in digital marketing, was working with that e-commerce site. And they are still a client today, if you can believe it.
Wow, that is tremendous to be able to hold on to a client for that long. That means you must do some very good work. And like I said at the start, you've seen a lot of changes throughout the years in regards to digital marketing. So tell me what kind of clients it is that you work with now.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, I like getting my start in e-commerce. So I've worked with several e-commerce clients, but I also work with like local businesses, ranging from individuals who have a service or provide a service, to law firms, to one of my clients is a local newspaper. So it really ranges the different types of people and companies that I work with. And I think because of my varied background, I can help apply all these different techniques that I've learned over the years, and apply them to what works best for the business.
So talk to me about some of the problems that these companies have. Let's stick with e-commerce first. Is that more of a paid play or SEO? Which works best for the e-commerce?
Sure, it really depends. With e-commerce, when we were first on the web, ads were just in the Google search results, you would just see like 3 ads up top, or maybe 2 ads up top, and then ads on the side. And now, when you look up products on Google, Google's AdWords products actually take up a good portion of the page, especially on mobile. When I first started, people weren't using mobile devices to shop for products, and now people do. So it really has affected how people shop, and also how people interact with search. And so with back in the day, when everybody was using just a desktop to shop online, the search results would pretty much look the same. Now it's different depending on the device you use, depending on if you've visited the website before. There's now lots of products that appear at the top, and now you're also competing with Amazon, which Amazon right now is basically it acts as a search engine for products. So the landscape has changed significantly. Being able to be nimble, and making sure you're measuring for ROI, and also having product information that Google can index, like using Schema, has all having all that available it gives you an edge over your competition.
So what is Schema? Because that's something that has really been thrown around in the SEO world for a little while now. Explain to us exactly what Schema is and how it is helpful.
Sure. So Schema is metadata that Google and other search engines use to get information about what is on the page. And schema varies between some popular schemas are like recipes. So if you're searching for a specific type of recipe or a specific recipe, you may see some additional information in the search results, like a review of the recipe or the ingredients or or a picture of the finished product, right? So what websites are doing now is adding rich schema information onto their pages so that it helps search engines like Google grab that information and then use that to add content to the search result listing for your page. So let me get this straight first here, Bobby.
Sure. Is this schema, is it actual content that's on the page, or is it code that is not seen on the page that is just picked up by Google?
So it's code that you put on the page, and there's two ways to do it. You can put the code within the content itself, or you can add it as basically JavaScript, which is JSON LD, which is now the recommended way to put content, put your schema information on your page. But it is information that is on the page and information that you have to add. So there, like if you use WordPress, there are plugins that can help you populate that information based on what you have in your product database. Shopify also has something like that. If you have a Shopify store, there's applications that you can add to your Shopify store to provide product information and product review information. So, but it is code that you have to add or at least point to within the HTML of the page.
Okay, and as far as the search engine results page, the websites that are using schema, are those the ones that generally have the bigger search results? It might show underneath it pictures of the products or reviews, like you said, rather than just the basic description.
Yeah. So what Google does is if it finds schema on the page, then it will add that kind of information. Like if it's a product, it'll add pricing information. It may add reviews, whether it's in stock. If it's a movie, it'll show like movie listings or times for movies. So it's one of those things where it actually isn't like a ranking factor per se, or at least a direct ranking factor for Google. But what it does is that it provides. So when your search result listing has this additional information, it catches the eye, right? So if you're looking up a specific product and you're looking at the search results page within organic, and you see that you're seeing the same product, but you're seeing that one product listing has a bunch of reviews, or at least has a bunch of stars, that shows that there are a bunch of reviews on this page versus one that doesn't have any at all. It's more visually appealing, and the likelihood of somebody clicking on that is probably greater. And it's that the CTR, the click-through ratio for that listing, that is a ranking factor. So it's an indirect ranking factor versus a direct ranking factor. So like having schema just makes your page stand out within the search results more so than if it didn't have it at all.
Right, and it's different. It's different from all the other results that are displayed, as well as you generally get more real estate on that page, so it's bigger, more chance of it getting clicked through as well. Which is great. Now, can you do the same thing for a local business? How does that work?
Yeah, so for a local business, you can have reviews of you may have like reviews appear for your business. Like I've seen listings with testimonials and reviews of the business appear. If you're a shop that has a local shop that has a product, and you want to display that it's in stock, you can do that too. So yeah, it applies to pretty much there's schema for just about anything that is related to a business or a product or a service that you provide.
So let's talk about the SEO part and the SEM. Do you recommend doing both together, or do you concentrate on one at a time?
It really depends. It depends on the needs of the business and budget. There are some instances where I've worked or have talked to people who are looking to build some SEO for their website, but then looking at their website, it's clear that they need to do more than just optimize what they have. Sometimes they need to really redesign the website to really make it effective or add content. And all of that takes time. Like with SEO, it's not a quick play kind of game. It's a long term. It takes time for Google to index the content and rank it, and also you may find that you want to further optimize as you go along. Even Google recommends at least 4 months to a year to really start to see the results in the any kind of SEO efforts that you do. So all that to say,
what would you say? Yeah, sorry. What would you say is the benefit of SEO then, if it takes so long to implement and it's continually changing? What is the overall benefit of doing this for a business?
Yeah, so the benefit is that you want to be in the eyes of people searching for your business or the products and services that you have. So a lot of times people don't buy right away or sign up right away. A lot of people are still doing research on the web. So, for instance, like how many times have you gone to Amazon and not purchased something right away, right? But you're doing research or you're trying to make an informed decision before you make a purchase. Same goes with any small business. You want to be on the radar for when people are searching for your types of services. So it's important to be in those search results, and especially ideally on the first page, because a lot of people don't navigate beyond the first page. But you want to be on the radar for when people are researching and looking for the type of services you provide. And so that's why having an SEO presence is important. Also, if somebody gets a referral, so say for instance you are an attorney and your client has referred you to someone else, that person may want to do some due diligence and research to determine whether you're the real deal. And so having a search presence even for your own brand is important too, so that it gives legitimacy to your business. It lets people know who have heard about you know that you exist and you are the right person to do the job or sell the product. So that's why like having an SEO strategy is important.
So talk to me about the benefits of the search engine marketing.
Sure. So with search engine marketing, it allows you to get in the search results quickly. So and obviously for a fee, right? Because you're paying for that traffic. But say, for instance, you're working on your SEO strategy. You don't, you need to rebuild your website, or you need to create some content. In the meantime, you can create some landing pages for your business that can be used for search engine marketing campaigns. So like your Google AdWords, your Bing ads. And that you can get in the search results and in the mind of a searcher pretty quickly by doing that. Another benefit to doing let's say, for instance, you have an SEO strategy in place. By bidding on keywords, you are also giving more opportunities for someone to click on your website. And so instead of just having a 1 in 10 chance or a 1 in 14 chance, depending on how many ads are appearing on the page, you're actually giving yourself 2 in 14 or 1 in 7 chance, right? And even with the ads with Google AdWords, you can even add multiple opportunities to click, not just one. So you're just giving your business more exposure in the search results. Also, anybody searching on a mobile device, most of the time that they're looking at the Google search results, as they're flicking on their phone to go through the results, most of that is mobile up top. So if your target is mobile, then it really benefits you to be in those search results up top. So and the other thing too is that you can measure ROI with Google AdWords too. So if you have conversion tracking on your website, you can see how the keywords are performing and determine whether they're profitable or not. So, yeah.
So with these companies that you work with, what's the first thing that you do with them? You sit down, and how do you discover exactly what it is that they need?
Yeah, discover is a great word, because that's what I do. I do website discovery and a business discovery that ask them what their goals are, the products that they sell, the type of client that they're looking for, what their competition looks like. And then I perform some keyword research and a website analysis to see what their website looks like. Is it mobile responsive? Is it do they have good, unique, and compelling content? Is what their business goals line up with what their website is saying? Do they have lead capture forms, or do they have products that are easy to find? So that happens in the initial discovery phase. Often I'll have somebody contact me and ask, or say, oh, I heard I need SEO and I would like to optimize my site right now. And I look at their website, and their website is not mobile responsive, or they're using content that's available all over the web and it's not unique to their business. And then, my suggestion is actually, well, there's not much we can optimize here. Before we can get into optimizing your content, actually, we're going to have to create new content to replace what you have, or redesign your website so that it's, mobile responsive. And so the discovery phase, allows me to better understand the business needs, and also what the right next steps are. Sometimes I find that, okay, if we need to rebuild the website, then we give the option of like creating landing pages and running some ads, so that way we can see what we can determine like keywords that would work well for them, and also use that to inform us on how to optimize the site for SEO.
Bobby, what common mistakes do you see people make when it comes to their digital marketing strategy? Is there something that really sticks out, or do you find that most people don't have a digital marketing strategy?
Yeah, it's interesting. There are people who really just don't know. A lot of times it starts with a basic, I'm searching for my business and I can't find it. And they're putting their own business name in the search results and they're not seeing their website anywhere. Or they've worked with like a web designer or a web development company and assume that SEO is included with it, or don't, or all of a sudden they're like, hey, I've got this brand new website, but I'm nowhere to be found. So a lot of times it starts with that. And so there's also a misconception about SEO where people seem to think that that it happens quickly. And I touched on this a little earlier, but it is a long-term plan. Like, there are some gains that you can make with just some slight tweaking and optimizing in the beginning. But ultimately, you'll see those little bits of gains. Like, for instance, you may see your website come up for your name, for instance, or your brand, and then eventually it'll sort of like you'll see that jump in like Google traffic. But then if you keep going, then you can start to see, and you have a good SEO plan in place, you'll start to see your Google traffic start to increase, and you'll start to see that your website ranks for more and more search queries. And so, a lot of people want that quick turnaround and that quick result. So sometimes you get that for the branded terms, but it really does take some time for that to grow. So I see that quite a bit. And a lot of times people just don't know. They just, they don't really understand all of this. They just know that they want business and they want to capture that business online, or they see that their competitors are coming up for search terms that they want to rank for. So, yeah.
So what are the main aspects of SEO? What are the few things that are extremely important that people have to concentrate on just in order to be seen at all?
Yeah. So as far as, do you mean like if they were to do it individually, or just even thinking about it?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it, trying to do it themselves,
Sure.
or what they've done so far.
Yeah. So my first recommendation is to register your site on Google Search Console if you haven't already. And this is different than Google Analytics. I know a lot of websites have Google Analytics, but Search Console gives you information on how Google sees your website, especially how Google's bots look at your website and see your website. Like, analytics is how people interact with your website, but Google Search Console is how Google interacts with your website. And it gives you all kinds of information, like search queries that your website comes up for. So it'll compile all search queries that people have searched for and your website ranks for. So that gives you an idea of what is working and what isn't. It also tells you if if Google is having trouble accessing your website, or if it's having trouble accessing certain pages. You'll get email alerts if your website gets hacked or if there's malware. You can submit your sitemap to Google so that it helps Google know that, okay, these pages are the pages that that basically you find important enough to put into a sitemap to send to Google, so that Google can easily find those pages. So I always suggest that businesses register their site in Google Search Console just so they can have some information and even get those email alerts that Google will send, which they do often, if there are issues going on with your website.
Great tip right there that everybody should implement right away. Now, Bobby, give us some case studies maybe of some businesses that you've worked with, even one. Just tell me what stage they were at when they came to talk to you, what their problem was, how you were able to help them, and ultimately what was their outcome.
Sure. So I have a client who's a local newspaper here in town, and they had changed platforms. They redesigned their website and not only redesigned it, but actually changed it to a new platform. I believe they may have been on Joomla, and then they moved over to WordPress. So the developer who built the new website in WordPress did not account for all the pages that were on the website at the time, and had no SEO strategy as far as redirecting those articles from the old website to the new website. So what ended up happening was that the website started generating 404 errors, and because it's a newspaper website, it was heavily linked from a number of different websites and sources all over the web. So Google saw this surge in 404 errors, and when Google sees something like that, it basically determines that the website is sick. Is like one way that I like it's got a condition, right? Like, or a flu. And so those pages, and Google wants to have a good search experience for anybody who uses Google, right? And so so Google would stop showing these 4 pages that are generating 404 errors in the search results. So they saw their Google traffic start to drop, right? And so what we did was we came up with a redirection plan, and there were like thousands of articles that are on their website. So we came up with some scripts and some hard-coded redirects. So we implemented some 301 redirects so that anyone clicking on those links that pointed to the old URLs would be redirected to the same article with the new URL structure. And so 301 is the HTTP response code that lets browsers and bots know that this URL, this page that existed, now exists in this new location permanently. So once we implemented those redirects to the same articles, then they started to see that their Google traffic return to their levels before the changeover. So by doing those 301 redirects and making sure that those articles were pointed to the same articles in their new locations, we were able to successfully get that Google traffic back. And they thrive on advertising, so those traffic numbers were very important to them. So that was their KPI for their business. So we were able to get them back in the search results and get that Google traffic back.
Very good. Yeah, it's amazing just how much that technical aspect and making sure the bots read everything correctly and the site speed and everything is working optimally for Google to help share those results in the search page. And ultimately, it's all about traffic and getting eyeballs to the website so you can take some action. Yeah. Well, Bobby, been great talking with you today. If somebody listening here wants to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So you can reach me at papayainternet.com. That's my website. And you can reach me on pretty much every social media platform under Bobby Kircher. And that's Kircher for the last name. A lot of people like to throw N's and R's, extra R's in there. But yeah, you can, if you search for Papaya Internet or Bobby Kircher, you can find me.
Great. Well, I definitely recommend you reaching out to Bobby to get help with SEO or SEM, or if you've got some of those technical issues with the website as well, make sure you get them all taken care of. Yeah. Well, Bobby, he's the founder of Papaya Internet, so you can visit at papayainternet.com. Thank you very much for being my guest on Expert Profiles Atlanta today.
Thanks, Neil. I appreciate the opportunity.
And to our listening audience, if you like what you hear, hit that like button and share, and we'll see you next time on the show.
Thank you for listening to Expert Profiles Atlanta with Neil Howe. To learn more about the resources in the show or to listen to past episodes, visit expertprofilesatlanta.com.